This is the road to 2019, and we are about to come in the next couple of weeks to a very important station or crossroads, if you like, on the road to 2019. And that is, of course, the Karnataka elections. Now, why is the Karnataka election so important? Obviously, it's one of the very few states that the Congress party still rules right now. I mean, you really have to struggle to try and find which other state the Congress party is in power. Punjab, obviously, Mizoram, Puducherry, if you really want to be specific. So it's a Congress stronghold. What's going to happen out here is going to be important. That's reason number one. Reason number two, it's the one possible state in South India that the BJP has an hope of winning. So therefore, it's their gateway, if you like, to South India. So that's why there's a lot riding on the Karnataka elections. And we'll see over the course of the next half an hour or so as to whether we think it is going to be as important a roadmap as people are saying it is. I'd like to welcome Tableen Singh, who's joining us from Mumbai to help us understand how important Karnataka is, and also any other lessons that we can draw, such as this acrimony we are seeing between Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi on the campaign trail here. Is this what we can expect for a full year coming up? Aril Singh Bopra is joining us, spokesperson of the Congress party. Vaibhav Agarwal is here from the BJP, and a senior journalist, Krishna Prasad, is with us, who's of course knows Karnataka better than any of us and is going to tell us constituency by constituency exactly who's going to win. But before I do any of that, is this an important crossroad? Let me address that first. Tableen, your sense, how important is Karnataka? I mean, remember, there is still Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh to come up later in the year. But what happens if the Congress wins Karnataka? What happens if the BJP wins Karnataka? What if it's hung?
I think that it is important, but not as important as the other two elections that you mentioned that are coming up later in the year. And I think it's more important really for the Congress party than it is for the BJP, because the Congress, as you pointed out, hardly rules any major state in India. So they need to hang on to it, which is why it's so disappointing that the campaign has been so personalized and so without any real issues.
All right. It's important, but perhaps more important for the Congress party. Would you agree with that? The other elections that are coming up later, Rajasthan, you may feel that you have a very good chance. Madhya Pradesh, we'll see how it pans out. What are the stakes like in Karnataka for you? How important is it on the road to 2019?
Well, Vikramji, every state election is critical. I mean, it's one can't undermine a state election, but certainly this is going to be a bellwether to gauge the momentum with which the Congress party will approach the coming elections. But you have to understand that BJP's lies and rhetoric have a shelf life. And Mr. Modi has crossed that point. The country has seen through the charade. There is unprecedented anger. Please take the issues which matter. The Congress party has a positive approach towards the elections, whether it's about agriculture, whether it's about rampant corruption, women's security.
That's on the campaign trail. We'll leave you to make all the campaign speeches on the campaign
but
trail.
Certainly
and
an
I'm going to be saying that
election.
to Vaibhav also very soon. I'm sure he's about to start off. Before any of you start off with the campaign speeches, this is not necessarily the format. I'm sure all of this is being said on the road. I'm just trying to understand it now from a theoretical point of view, from the Congress party's point of view, before I come to what's at stake for the BJP. One of the issues is, if the Congress wants to be a serious, formidable force in the effort to build up a coalition in the run-up to 2019, if you lose Karnataka also, the rest of your allies are going to say, man, why are we even bothering about you? You're really a little Northwest Indian regional party. Get into queue, we'll treat you in that certain manner. Is that one of the factors that is at the back of your mind?
No, I don't see it that way. The Congress is a pan-India party. It's certainly an important election. But please understand, every state election has its own dynamics. Rajasthan Congress is very strong. Madhya Pradesh Congress is strong. Chhattisgarh Congress is strong. Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, the mood is changing. There is unprecedented anger, like I said earlier. But this is certainly an important election and will help in really giving a direction to the anger which exists against the BJP today.
Okay. Vaibhav, for the BJP, what happens if it isn't able to win Karnataka?
Okay, so BJP should win Karnataka, and with all conviction I would say we will win Karnataka, and I'll tell you why. It's a very simple thing. BJP's narrative has suited very well with the urban population over the past few years, and we've all noticed that, one election after the other. Congress's narrative, we saw Gujarat, it was a fierce fight, and Congress got most of its votes from the rural perspective. Now, if we look at Karnataka's setting, The rural versus urban is definitely a difference. It's 75% a literate state. So, you know, if I
So
stop short of
the urban voter will kick in and you will win for that reason.
urban voters already are loyal.
I'm just
part
about
of
to
it.
come to who's going to actually win Karnataka
Right.
in a couple of minutes. But at stake, will the BJP see it if you lose in Karnataka? Will it be seen as, oh my God, that Modi magic is failing? And by the way, why didn't Prime Minister Modi spend more time in Karnataka this time?
Didn't need to, because we're
Didn't
already
need
connecting.
to.
Now I'll share it with you. Prime Minister Modi not spending more time, or Prime Minister Modi spending time the way he is actually pushing it for. So you understand there were only 15 rallies between Amit Bhai and the Pradhan Mantri that was scheduled in Karnataka. And I think by the end of the campaign trail, we'll touch about 21, 22. You know?
Okay.
So that changes the narrative on its own.
Like what's at stake here for both formations?
I think it's a huge election. There's no question for both parties it's huge. But I think if you take it one by one, I think for the BJP it's much more important than for the Congress. I'll say this, and that's the exact opposite of what Tavleen is trying to say. I think the BJP has been in some kind of a free fall in the last 14 to 18 months. They've lost nearly 14 Lok Sabha by-elections. In this last just 4 months, they've lost a number of elections and nearly 15 lakh people have moved away from the BJP. So you can see a party...
Isn't free fall a rather strong phrase to use? I mean, they did win Gujarat, okay, by a reduced margin. And not that long back, they had won Uttar Pradesh. Like
No, I will use the word free fall. I will go further forward and say that this is actually a very, very critical phase for the Modi government. This is actually the last lap of this government of Mr. Modi. And you can see it virtually as a lame duck government at this point of time, unable to face parliament and so on and so forth. So it's lost elections, it's had reverses in parliament, and most importantly, I think the magic, the wave that existed in 2014 has very nearly, abated and kind of waned. So I think it is an important election for the BJP much more than the Congress. For the Congress, I think the issue is a very simple one. Obviously, it needs to retain it, but more so because you can see a certain momentum building up in favor of the Congress. Tripura, of course, was one of those small reverses, but if you look at Karnataka, it's a large state, complex state, developed state, heterogeneous state, and what you see in the last few days of campaigning is the fact that the Modi-Amit Shah campaign is meeting a really mighty force down the Vindhyas. It was one thing to campaign up the Vindhyas in the north, but I think south of the Vindhyas, you are meeting with issues and people and politics of a very experienced kind.
Okay.
And one last point,
Right.
if you look at the northern belt, the BJP is set to lose certainly from UP, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, etc. It has to capture something from the south, and whatever it is doing in the south, in Karnataka, can have a ripple effect in Tamil Nadu, Andhra, and Kerala.
Although, I mean, it's probably be alliances. You don't see the BJP, even the BJP is expecting, neither is the Congress for that matter, expecting to actually win seats in Tamil Nadu. Or Andhra, for example, it's more on riding on certain coattails and alliances. Tavleen, just wanted to check in on you. I know what the political parties will say. I want to check in on you. What Krishna Prasad just said about it being a free fall for the Modi government in the last few months. Do you think that's pitching it too strong?
No, I think that's where they keep winning elections. So there's a free fall if you're looking at it from Delhi, which, as I've always maintained, is a bubble. But I've just been in Bihar, and I saw no free fall in rural Bihar. And, I don't see that Modi's popularity on a personal level remains unaffected in my view. And I don't see that at all.
All right. No free fall, says Tavleen. Free fall, says Krishna Prasad. And I don't know what the Congress and the BJP is
If
going
I can
to say.
just butt in and say that I'm not looking at it from a bubble in Delhi, but from a bubble in Bangalore. And when you look at it from the down south, the BJP has a lot of issues to face at this point of time. I'm not saying it's just any one issue. The plethora of issues, I think, and that's what it's getting reflected.
Okay, can I just come in on let's just look at Karnataka for a couple of minutes. I just want to flash some graphics for you, which Pranav and others have been working on. If you look at 2013, obviously a very comfortable victory for the Congress Party, 122, BJP was 40, JDS was 40, 22 others. But here's an interesting statistic I want to throw at you. In case in 2013 Yediyurappa had been part of the BJP, may well have been a very different, much closer fight. Congress 92, BJP 87. It could have been really, really closer. The opinion polls which have been done, in general over the last 2 months have been saying Congress may be ahead, but 94 to 86, JDS at 39, 95 to 94. It was even way back in January. Those are roughly what the figures are indicating at this particular point. As per that, it's looking like a tough fight, maybe even a hung assembly, in which case then the strength of Amit Shah and others to be able to cobble together numbers is there. So do you think it could be a hung assembly in Karnataka at the end of the day? And then it becomes very crucial which side is the JDS going to go.
Well, not at all. I think we're comfortably winning. We're looking at over 120. And you need to understand the BJP's game here. The BJP's chief ministerial candidate is a history sheeter. None other than Mr. L.K. Advani has called him corrupt. He was indicted by the Lokayukta, Justice Santosh Hegde. So how does this really sit with Mr. Modi's na khaunga na khane dunga? He's sharing the stage with a person who was sent to jail by a very respected Lokayukta. So this is number one. Number two, look at the Reddy brothers. The Supreme Court today has come down heavily on one of the Reddy brothers who's been externed from his home district. So all this is really building up the narrative against the BJP. Now let's look at other issues. Agriculture.
No, again, campaign speech you'll do. I'm just trying to figure out which way is the JDS going to go. We know what the issues are you're talking about. I'm saying, like, supposing after you've said all of this, the electorate of Karnataka says, okay, what the opinion polls are saying, 90-ish to the Congress party, 80-ish to the BJP, 85 for the BJP, 30-40 to the JDS. Let's supposing that's what happens. JDS may well decide to partner with the Congress, with the BJP, in which case you are done.
Well, that's what we're seeing. There is a friendly contest between the BJP and the JDS. And the people of Karnataka are able to see this.
They are more likely to form the government
not at all.
than you are.
We're comfortably winning. We're getting over 120 seats. But please understand the friendly match between the BJP and the JDS. They've deliberately put up dummy candidates in some of the BJP-ruled states. And we are taking this message to the voters in Karnataka.
Okay, so hang on.
I disagree. I disagree in totality.
You disagree with the friendly part?
Totality. No, in totality. So that I could give a campaign speech on corruption. I could do a political speech on alliances. I could do the friendly part. I could point by point through it. But then I'd be diluting the entire concept here of Road to 2019 for you.
Yeah. Right. So, okay, let's throw the elections. I'm just asking you, if it's a hung assembly, let's say it is 90, 80, 40-ish sort of a thing, which is what many of the opinion polls seem to be pointing to. Some opinion polls, of course, are saying the BJP is winning comfortably.
Sure.
Which way do you think the JDS is going to go?
So, I would know JDS is an independent party. They have the right to their own opinion.
It's a soft fight between the two.
Well, more than welcome. I have no problem in that. Accepting it. If they're giving up a probable alliance partner, I'll be more than happy to take on their enemies. And let's be political about it here. However, I'm being asked sweet, but however, when we look at it from a macro level, in politics, lately the narrative has been changing. So when I say the narrative has been changing, Krishna sir has mentioned that as well. Now how the numbers change, wherever we've lost, Krishna sir pointed out, we've been losing. Actually, we've not been losing. Why? I'll tell you. Because the gap has only been closed by the opponents who were running alone till now. And we've maintained our share.
We're not really losing. What sort of a...
So we're not, because we've maintained our share.
Why are you giving them a line? They're losing way more than you are. So why are you giving them a very comfortable line to use?
So what I'm saying...
Where we as a Congress party have lost, we didn't actually lose.
Absolutely. So what I'm saying is, from a people perspective, we have no problem in accepting that the popularity of our leaders and leader are ever growing.
Okay, it's still not answering my question as to who's winning Karnataka, so let me come
Karnataka's
to you.
BJP winning with all respects.
Okay, now let me come to try and get a slightly more dispassionate view from the two of you. If the BJP wins, fine, it wins. The Congress wins, fine, they win. If it's a hung assembly, which side will the JDS go? Because that may decide who's going to form the government.
Let me just say this. In 2013, 5 years ago, every one of the opinion polls gave the Congress a victory. In 2018, all but one of the opinion polls has given the Congress a clear lead. And
lead, but not a victory.
A lead, and certainly one of the pollsters, the only pollster who got 2008 and 13 right, has predicted a clear victory for the Congress this time around. That's on the one side. On the other hand, the JDS is in a fix because the Congress has called it the B team or the BJP, And on the other hand, Mr. Modi has gone to Karnataka and kind of given a bear hug to Mr. Devegowda from behind. And on the following day, recanted. So the BJP, the JDS is in a real fix, one. Two, in 2006, when the chance to form a government came, the JDS went along with the BJP, despite the word secular in its name. So it's got a history of having gone with the BJP, so it may well go with the BJP. At this point of time, Devegowda has repeatedly said that he's not going to go with the BJP, but that's only for public consumption. Most people know, most people in Karnataka do know that the BJP and the JDS have had a really strange arrangement of seats where they put up weak candidates.
And I'm just going to put up the various regions. Can I just get Tableen? And I am, by the way, while we are going on this entire JDS question, particularly important, remember, always in the old Mysore region, because that's where Congress 40 seats, JDS 30 seats, that's where the fight is really going to be. And that may be one reason why the JDS says, okay, BJP, because the Congress is really our challenger out there. We'll have to see. Tableen, if you were a betting person and it's a hung assembly, who has the edge? Obviously, Amit Shah and Narendra Modi have been shown to be absolutely brilliant at cobbling together the numbers, even when they lose an election, as happened in Goa and as in Manipur. If it's a hung assembly, do you think Amit Shah can be trusted to somehow put something together with the JDS or others?
Look, I don't want to speculate about what they're going to do, but I have to say that what is very disappointing is how lackluster the campaign has been from both sides. Do you know, I mean, all that we've seen is them attacking each other on a personal level. And, that doesn't really assure anyone that Karnataka's future is going to be better no matter who wins.